Hello, pup parents, and welcome to today's episode of Dogs with Devin. My name is Devin. I am excited to be here and to talk to you today about a very, very difficult behavior for many dogs, and that is leash training. Leash training is difficult. Let me tell you why. You probably already knew this, but let me tell you why. It is not natural for a dog to walk calmly next to a human. Let me repeat that. It is not natural for a dog to walk calmly next to a human. Think about it. Dogs, for thousands of years, have been bred to do specific tasks. And if you're looking at other breeds, specific breeds like shepherd breeds or retrievers, they have been bred to retrieve things and to herd things. So they are definitely not wanting to just walk by your side. So now that we've cleared up why, right, it's very natural. Plus, again, think about it, there's a lot more competing factors for your attention. When you go out on a walk, there are other dogs, there are people, there are noises, there are smells, there are sounds, there's everything new to your dog. They spend so much of their time inside the house that when they get outside, it's like, holy cow, this is insanely exciting. I want to go sniff and look at and explore everything around me. So just have some empathy for your dog and understand that it is very difficult. If you feel like you've been struggling with leash training, you feel like you've tried a lot of different things, I'm going to give you one new idea, maybe new, probably new to you, of what to do with your dog, to how to get them to behave on a leash. Okay, number one, and I promise you, if you follow this, you're going to have some better results with your leash training. So number one, exercise your dog before you do this leash training. People call me crazy, or you'll think like, well, I don't know if that's really necessary. Just do it. Just exercise your dog before you do this leash training. Do some fetch, do some tug, do whatever it is to get your dog tired. Number two, you're inside your house. Whether you are using a harness, a flat collar, whatever it is, you are going to do this part inside the house. I know that sounds crazy, right? You're probably thinking, well, if I want my dog to walk on a leash outside, I need to be outside, but you need to lay the foundation first. You need to remember that you are building a wall in this behavior. Every behavior, you're building a brick wall, you're building a house, or whatever metaphor you want to use. You need to start with the foundation. You need to start with the first layer. And that means you need to get your dog to start to understand what you want from them while they're on a leash. So get them on a leash, 6-foot leash. I prefer, there's one that has like a handle at 3 feet as well. It's just kind of nice for getting a little bit more control over the situation. Get your dog on the leash and start walking around in your house. What you're going to do is you're going to play the stop-go game. So when your dog starts to go another direction or pull or get distracted, you're going to stop. You're not going to move. You're not going to give them attention. You're going to wait for them to stop. As soon as they kind of refocus on you and give you their attention and stop pulling, you can give your marker word of yes or good or whatever you use, or a clicker, and then you start moving again. And when they're doing good, you need to remember this. I don't know why, but so many parents, we forget this, right? Like when your dog is walking calmly by your side, give them a reward. Reinforce what you're asking of them, right? That's such a big part of positive reinforcement that we kind of forget about, is you need to reinforce the behavior. You need to say, yes, this is what I want from you. Okay. And you're walking and you're moving and you're changing directions. And when your dog changes directions with you, you're kind of going different places in your house. You start, you stop, you go left, you go right, you turn around, you go forward, you go backward, all this different stuff. And as your dog is following you and paying attention to you, you are rewarding, you are reinforcing, you're giving the marker word, and you are giving a treat. You are making sure that this is a positive experience for them and that they're understanding when they're doing something correct, right? That's such an important part that we often forget. And then if they start pulling, you stop. And then as soon as they refocus on you, you can give them a little head scratch. Maybe you can ask them to do a look at me or a sit or something like that. Reward that behavior, and then you move forward again. And then you stop when they pull. I know it sounds very, very simple, but this simple repetition, you are taking advantage of how our dogs learn, right? Our dogs learn that they learn very quickly that if there's something that they want, and every time they do something wrong, and they get farther away, or that thing that they want stops, they see, oh, that was a bad consequence. I don't want that to happen anymore. So I'm going to try and understand better what my pup parent is asking of me. And so then you move forward. As they're staying next to your side, as they're staying focused, you give them that reward. You give them that reinforcement that what they're doing is correct. Again, remember these simple steps, okay? You need to exercise beforehand. Number 2, you need to be doing this inside your house to start. I know it sounds crazy, but I promise it will help. You need to lay the foundation in a non-distracting environment. Number 3, you have them on a leash, of course. And then number 4, you do this stop-go game. So, you're only going when they are doing proper leash behavior. And the second that they stop doing proper leash behavior, you stop. The excitement, the fun of the walk stops. And then you go forward when they're focused on you again. This simple exercise, if you stay consistent with this, you're going to get to the point where your dog's going to be paying attention everywhere you're going. They're going to stop when you stop. They're going to not be pulling as much, or they're not going to be pulling at all if you stay consistent enough with this. And then you're going to take this outside, but in, again, a very low distraction environment. So think of, your driveway, or a place that they get a lot of time. Maybe it's even your backyard. If you have a backyard, that's best case scenario, because then you get the noises and the feeling of being outside, yet you're still in a much less distracting environment because they get a lot of those smells, they get a lot of the sounds frequently. It's not as new and exciting to them. And then do that same thing. You walk forward, and as they're following next to you, you reinforce. You give the yes or the clicker, and you give the treat as they're doing that proper leash behavior. And then if they start to pull, or if they go yank some other way, or want to go pull off somewhere and sniff, you just stop. And they lose that reinforcement of being able to go after what they want. And here's the thing too. Here's the thing that you got to think about is, if there's something that your dog really wants to engage with as you're outside in your backyard practicing this, that's okay. But first they need to understand that, we can get there. We can go to that place, the smell or whatever it is that's enticing to them, but you need to listen first. You need to kind of comply first with what I'm asking you, and you need to walk properly. So I think it's important that we remember not that we're not trying to just completely keep our dogs from enjoying sights and smells and sounds and other dogs and other humans and whatnot. You're never going to be able to avoid that completely, and you shouldn't want to. You should want your dog to do those dog type things. And so what's important is that you need to have kind of the key to unlock that gate of what they're looking for. And that key is listening to you, focusing on you, and complying with the behavior that you're asking of them. If you practice on this consistently, I promise you will have better results with your leash walking. I promise you 100%. And that's today's episode. It's short, it's sweet, because I want you to go out and practice this. I want you to give it a shot. I want you to give it a try and see the results that you have. It's not going to happen in one day, but with consistency, you will see improvement in your dog's leash behavior by following these tactics. Again, if you enjoyed this episode, if you found it useful, please share it with someone who needs this help. I know plenty of people who are struggling with leash training because it's a very, very difficult behavior. Share this episode with them. Wherever you're listening to it, share it with them. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you're listening on a podcast, hit that subscribe button, leave a review. I read all of them. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, give it a like, leave a comment, ask a question. And if you have any questions, you can email me, dogswithdevin, Devin, @gmail.com, and I'll respond to you. I'm looking at you. I'm telling you, I will respond to your question. So shoot it over. That was a weird way to say that. Send it over in an email, and I will get back to you and help you in the best way that I can.
Have a good time.